Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com, and this is the third part of the 12 days of Christmas. So this is part 3. The first part was the first 5 days, second was the second 5 days, which is up to 10, and there's 2 more, so we're at the 11th and 12th day. And with this practice, we're going to also weave in some winter solstice flows, celebrating, because of course the 12 days of Christmas, most of you will be doing this during Christmas or just before Christmas. And this is also the time just before Christmas when we have the winter solstice, whether it falls on the 21st or the 22nd. This is live, just to let you know, so we do not edit this. This is me, as I am. So we're the last 2 12 days of Christmas lyrics is the 11 pipers piping, and then the 12 drummers drumming. Pipers piping, we're going to be working on the throat chakra. I thought about doing that, designing a class, because I'm thinking about pipers. They have to use their mouths and their throats to be able to pipe. And then the drummers drumming, there's an actual drum pose, believe it or not. That's not in it's less of a Western, because Western style yoga has very, in a way, predictable yoga poses. We know if you do yoga on a regular basis, most of them are pretty, you've seen or you've heard of them before. This is more Eastern based, and so it's a drum. It's called the drum pose. So it's you don't see it normally in most hatha classes, maybe in Ashtanga or Iyengar. And it's it's not very complicated. It's like a chair pose when you're standing, but your actual knees are outwards, your feet turn out, and your arms are close to your sides. And what that does is that pose, the drum pose, is really good for circulation. It strengthens your leg muscles, and it creates more flexible hip joints, knee joints. Any problems with knees, I'll show you a variation of it. And then the winter solstice is, why I'm combining it is because this live class happens to fall on the winter solstice as well. So, and I thought, let me kind of bring this whole thing together, celebrating the shortest day of the year, or the darkest day and the shortest day. And from this day forward, we're going to be, it gets lighter and lighter until it hits the summer solstice in June 21st, 22nd. And what we're doing is winter solstice, it's an opportunity it's more of a yin practice, so a kind of a very slow, flowy practice, and holding stretches. We're going to be taking, and then also it's an opportunity to plant seeds. It's kind of like a New Year's resolution, but planting the seeds for the next 6 months until you reach the summer solstice. They're really a beautiful, one of my favorite practices, all these, that you can experience in this class today, or whenever you're taking this class. Okay, I would suggest 2 blocks, which we'll use later. And I think that's it. You just need blocks. And I always like to use a blanket, the blanket for knees, but also for at the end when we do our Savasana, you can put it on top of you so that you feel warm and cozy. Let's take a moment here with our hands on our knees, sitting tall in our simple seat, simple pose, easy pose. And let's deepen the breath, inhaling and exhaling. So warming up the body in the winter months, and you might actually be doing this in the opposite, where it's summer, if you're in Australia or someplace like that. but it's still solstice. It's still the, you're celebrating the solstice. So let's start to deepen the breath, creating that ujjayi breath. So ocean-like sound as you breathe in and out, creating that sound at the back of the throat. So this is opening up that and balancing the throat chakra. The 11 pipers piping. So this creates this, it helps to expand lung capacity, help you stay present with the sound of your breath, and clears out the stuff that causes us to stop, to not express ourselves. That energy that's kind of stuck there. Now, you can open your eyes here. Let's interlace the hands with the palms facing down. Bring the hands underneath your chin. Lift your elbows up. And as you lift your elbows up, gently press your head back without putting too much, forcing it back. And then as you exhale, elbows angle in towards each other and push the chin into the hands. And then round the back into a cat shape. And then inhale, lift back up, opening up, as if, oh, here I am, just waking up, elbows lifting, pushing gently into that chin, and then exhale, bring the elbows in towards each other. It's like you're the thinker in this shape, with the chin on your chest, chin towards your chest, and then inhale, lift up, opening up your elbows. One more time, exhale, lower the elbows down. Inhale, lift up. This is just hold for a moment, pressing the chin back. And then bring the chin back to parallel. Release the hands down to your knees. Let's do a few little Sufi circles to warm up the spine. Leaning forward, circling to the right. So creating this wave-like movement with the spine. So let the spine, you're bringing the spine more of in a kind of a lateral, a circular, a spiral. Pivoting on that tailbone, on that pelvis. So as you ground down, root down with those sit bones and the feet, everything above it is circling. Let's inhale, come up nice and tall. And then exhale, lean forward and reverse the circle. So this song, the 12 Days of Christmas, is, as I've mentioned before, it's a very ancient song. We don't know when it actually was written or who wrote it and why it was written. And there's lots of speculation. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. This time take your head, drop it to the right, and take your left fingertips and just tap them on the ground. Right arm, wrap it around your head with the fingers of that right hand on that left ear, and gently draw the head down towards that right shoulder. Opening up stretching out the jaw. Maybe move the jaw a little bit. Releasing that tension in those jaws. Inhaling. And exhale. And then bring your chin towards your left clavicle, so towards the left side of your chest. Everything stays as is. Just stretching out, feeling that stretch in a different part of your neck. And then inhale the head back up, back to where it was originally was, over your right shoulder, and release, bring your right arm up, and then lift your head up. Take your right hand out to the side, on your fingertips, and drop your head to the left. I almost went in the wrong direction. Left arm wrap around your head. This is live, so mistakes. And then right hand just rested on your ear, or even as low down as your jawbone. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out gently, let that head rest in the crook of your arm, the elbow. Deep breath in, let that right side of the jaw relax. Keep the breath moving, Ujjayi breath. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And then keep everything as is. Just take your chin to the left clavicle. Am I doing the, okay, sorry. And then lift your head back up and then release the hand down. And then from here, come onto your hands and knees. Now this is where you might want your blanket in a moment, but just push it to the side. Press back into a child's pose. Stretch to those hips, reach the arms forward, forehead on the ground. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. And then inhale into your tabletop. Let's do some Sufi circles on our hands and knees. So circling the body. This time the hips join the party. Round and round. Sitting back towards your heels. Allow the head to follow the movement. And then let's press back into that child's pose. Reach your arms forward. Stretch through those fingers. Press into the thumbs and index finger. Deep breath in, and then inhale, lift back up, and let's circle in the opposite direction. Circling around, loosening up that spine. So working that throat chakra, just by breathing as we're doing, that's Ujjayi breath. And that sound is like an ocean sound. So when we're sitting at the ocean, or in the ocean, yeah, sitting on the side of the ocean, you're listening to the waves, and that kind of is that's mesmerizing. And that's what we're doing here with that sound. Let's come back into all fours. Let's curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. Let it all go. All that breath. Inhaling. And then as you exhale, lower the knees to the ground. Bring your left arm so that your wrist is underneath your left shoulder. Take your right arm and thread it underneath your left arm. Come onto that right shoulder. So you can place the blanket underneath your right shoulder if you can't get to the ground comfortably. Right side of your head on the ground. Left hand, either keep the fingertips on the ground right in front of your face, or walk your fingertips forward towards the front of the mat, and then walk it over towards your to the right side of the mat. So it might be just over your left ear. And from here, you're going to be thinking in terms of opposite energy. So we're twisting. So we're stretching towards the right as we stretch towards the left. So our left hip towards the left, left arm towards the right. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And then walk your left fingers back so they're in line with your shoulder, and then slide them back towards you. Push the ground away. Unthread your right arm. Place your right hand underneath your shoulder, that right arm next to your left hand underneath the shoulders, and let's round through the back into a cat stretch. Bring your knees a little bit closer in so your cat stretch is even deeper. Draw the tummy muscles in and up. And then slide the knees back. Curl the toes under. Inhaling into a neutral spine, and then downward facing dog. Stretching through those arms, letting the head drop. Shaking your head no and shaking your head yes. letting it go. So this is what we do in yoga. Lots of the opposing energies. We press, we work through the top and the bottom half as if we're being, split in two. And the same things with the right and left side. Come all the way down to your knees. This time take your left arm, thread it underneath your right arm. Left shoulder on the ground, or like I said, you can use a blanket. And left palm faces up. Right hand either right next to right in front of your face, or slide it forward. And then maybe walk it over towards that left side of the mat. And then you have a stopping point. Press down with both shins, right hip towards the right. Right hand towards the left. Feel that kind of like you're splitting yourself in two, while simultaneously like getting into the nooks and crannies of the fascia, the muscles, the joints. Let it go. And your spine. Let's take an inhale and walk your right hand back in line with your shoulders. Slide it all the way back towards you. Push the ground away. Thread your left arm. And then walk your knees slightly closer in and round through the back into that cat stretch. If you want to come up a little higher, come onto the fingertips. And you can go even deeper into this cat stretch. And then lower the hands back down, inhaling into your neutral spine. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Lower the knees to the ground. From here, from your hands and knees, take your right arm forward, left leg back. Now your back toes can be pointed, flexed, or you can activate it, pushing through the ball mounds of that left foot. Take and think about this idea of being pulled in two opposite directions, and then lower that right hand down, left knee down, and then we switch. Right leg reaches back, left arm forward, breathing in. And then exhale, let's switch again. Lower the knee down, left hand down, and extend the left leg back, right arm forward. Tummy muscles pull in and up. Exhale, right hand down, left knee down. Let's do a few more sets. Inhaling, stretching the left arm, right leg back. Exhale down. One more time, finishing on whatever side you're at. Finish there, reaching the opposite arm, opposite leg, and then lowering that right knee down. Open the knees wide, big toes touching. Let's press back into a child's pose. Let the arms open, maybe even wider, until the pinky fingers are touching the edges of the mat. Melt your heart to the ground. Inhaling and exhaling. Let it go. All that is as if we're detoxing our lungs, clearing them out. And then let's inhale, come into your tabletop. Exhale, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, reach your right leg behind you up towards the ceiling. And then step your right foot between your hands. Lower your left knee down. Lift your arms up to the sky, coming into your crescent lunge, opening up the heart. Take your hands behind your head. So letting your head rest in your hands, elbows open. Press in as you lift your chin up. So here we are in our throat chakra. And then take your hands, reach them back up towards the sky. Take your left hand inside your right foot. You might put a block inside your right foot. Right hand on the back of your head. Right elbow lifts towards the ceiling. Let your head rest in your hand. Open up the right side of your chest. If you want to go a little further, you can lift your left knee up and off the ground. Squeeze the legs in towards each other. Breathing in, and maybe take your gaze, bring it backwards towards, so you're looking over your right leg. or look down. And then lower the right hand down, framing your right foot. And then walk your left foot in closer until it's flat. Open the right foot out to the side, coming into pyramid. So you might need blocks here, 2 blocks framing your right foot. Let yourself fold over that front leg, or if you don't have blocks, feel free to put your hands on a shin or on the thigh. Right knee is soft, or there's a slight bend to it. We don't want to lock the knee. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Holding and breathing. Let's step back, downward facing dog. So if you're on blocks, just place them to the side into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale into your plank. Knees up or down. You can always take those knees and just place them down. Exhale, press back into your downward facing dog. Inhaling into your plank. Draw tummy muscles in and up. Exhaling, downward facing dog. One more time, inhaling into plank, knees up or down. I'm going to lower my knees down. Elbows squeeze in towards each other. Lower yourself to the ground. Place the hands outside your mat so your hands are framing the mat. Come onto the fingertips. Elbows are lifting up, so you're in this kind of, what I call it, reminds me of a spider. And then push the ground away, lifting up, inhaling. Let the head be the last to come up, and then lift your head up, lift your chin, open up that throat. And then exhale, lower down. Let the head be the last and then bring the chin towards your chest. Inhale, lift back up. Then lift the chin up. And then exhale, lower down. Keep the chin lifted, and then chin to chest. One more time. Inhale, lift, pressing into the ground. And then exhale, lower down. Sliding your hands next to your chest, pushing onto your knees or directly into your plank with the knees up. Take a pause and exhale, downward facing dog. Keep kind of warming up our bodies. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So from here, take an inhale, bring your right foot in towards your left foot. Inhale your left leg up to the sky. And then exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Lower your right knee down. Lifting up into your crescent lunge. Reach up through those arms. Lean forward, spreading those chests. Lifting the chest, spreading the collarbones, bringing the hands behind your head. Cradle the head in your hands, breathing in, and see if you can go a little bit deeper. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Lifting the arms up, inhaling, and then exhale, place your right hand inside your left foot. Block is a great thing if you need a block. And then take your left hand on the back of your head, the skull, and open up that left elbow. And squeeze that left knee in towards the center. Now you have the option of lifting your right knee up if you'd like. Breathing in and breathing out. Whew. And bringing your gaze over your left hip, or keep the gaze, find an easier gaze for yourself if you need it. And then place your left hand to the outside of that left foot. Your hands are framing that left foot. Walk your back foot, slide it back in till both feet are flat. The back toes are on a slight angle, and the front toes are pointing forward. Fold over your left leg. So hands on shins, blocks, or thighs. There's a softness to that left knee. There can even be a bend. Folding over, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Holding and breathing. Inhaling and exhaling.
And then bend your left knee, place the hands back on the ground, just move the blocks away. Exhale, sit back, downward facing dog. Inhaling into your plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. This time, come all the way down, forehead on the ground, arms next to your sides into locust, palms facing up. Take a deep breath in. Legs can be together or slightly apart. Lift forehead, chest, legs up. Now think about opposing forces. So your legs reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward, chest reaching forward, arms reaching back. Breathing in. And the arms can lift a little higher if you'd like. Maybe you want to bring them higher and then reach them back a little bit more. Rotate those thighs slightly in. And it's hard to breathe in this. You know, you kind of hold your breath. Try and breathe even in this position. Lower yourself down. And let's take a pause here. Just make a pillow with your arms. Place your right cheek on the pillow and do a few little shakes of the hips. And then turn your gaze to the right. Let your cheek just rest on the arms. And then slide your hands next to your chest. Curl the toes onto either knees, stay down, or lift the knees up into your plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So we're mixing in, it's a mixture of the piper's piping and the drummer's drumming. Taking a deep breath in, looking forward, either stepping or you can leap to the front of the mat. Float is probably a better word. Once you've come to the front of the mat, take a pause here. Open the feet wider than your hips. Could be as wide as the mat or a little bit less wide, a little bit closer together. Opposite hand to opposite elbows. Let's stretch out the backs of our legs, our spine, shoulders. The knees are soft here or bent. Pressing into the inner edges of those feet. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Let's release the hands to the ground. Let's open the feet wider. Now, we're going to come into our malasana, which is our squat. So you can decide how you want your heels to be, but see if you can flatten out those feet, either placing them on something, a blanket, or taking the mat and doubling it up, just pulling it and making a little crease with it, or sitting on a block. Let's come down. Hands, arms in between your thighs. Lift your chest towards your thumbs. So feeling into this stretch as you press your knees into your arms. Stretch out and let the tailbone sink a little further down. And then take the hands to the ground, straighten those legs. Move the block away, or if you've taken, the mat, just unfold it. And then let's take a deep breath in and let's slowly roll ourselves all the way up to Tadasana. Take your time. And then roll the shoulders back. Take your hands behind your back, interlace them. Squeeze the palms together if you can and lift the hands off your back. Try and squeeze the palms. That might mean your arms don't lift very high. And then open up the chest, the neck. Lift your chin. And then release the hands to your bottom. And just let them shake. So we're going to do the drum pose. So it's kind of funny, but I feel it is anyway. It might not be to you. You're going to. I'm spinning around. You could go. You could stay at the front of your mat, but so you can actually see me. You're turning your feet in, heels in, toes out. Walk them in so they're about hip distance apart, and the arms are right directly next to your sides. like this. And then, as if you have a ball between your hands, press into that imaginary ball. Take a deep breath in and then bend the knees. So you're working those arm muscles, the chest muscles, and then the thighs. Remember the circulation as well, as I said. So it's as if you have a drum between your legs and you're ready to play the drum. And then let's interlace the hands, spin them up to the sky, straighten your legs. Bring your left toes forward, right toes forward, back to paralleling those feet. And then stretch over to the right. Take your left hip away as you press the arms towards the right. So left hip to the left. And maybe turn your gaze towards your left arm. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And then inhale, lift your arms back up, then stretch over to the left. Stretching, breathing, right hip away, arms to the left. Oh, you can feel that stretch. And then inhale, lift back up. Let the arms float next to your sides. One more time, turn the toes out, heels are hip distance. Elbows squeeze into your sides, squeeze into that imaginary ball, soften the shoulders down, take a deep breath in and then bend the knees. So if this is hurting your knees, it's as if you're sitting in a chair. You could bring your feet slightly further apart, which might help, which might be more comfortable. And soften the knees, breathe in, feel the ankles working, the inner thighs, the outer thighs. The arms, breathing in. I can feel this, having done this quite a few times, especially, and then let's interlace the hands with the unfamiliar interlace and spin the palms up and then straighten those legs. Turn your toes forward and then stretch over to the left. And then turn your gaze to the right. And then inhale, lift back up, and then stretch to the right. Inhaling and exhaling. And then lift back up, and then release the arms. Come back to the front of the mat. So the drummer, that was 12 drummers drumming. Come up nice and tall. Sweep your arms up to the sky. A few sun salutations. Exhale, forward fold. Half sun salutations. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Take an inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. Exhale, right foot between your hands into a lunge. Into a runner's lunge with your hands framing your right foot and step your left foot forward. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, step left foot back, right foot back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then inhale that left foot between your hands, coming into your runner's lunge, and then exhale, step your right foot forward, inhaling halfway. Exhaling, forward fold, and inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Just take a moment here. Take one deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's inhale, we'll add on to this. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, step right foot back, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, place the knees down. Then the chest down and the chin. Hold and pause. And then slither forward onto your belly, inhaling into cobra or sphinx. And then exhale, lower down, downward facing dog. Take one full breath here in downward facing dog, inhaling and exhaling. Take an inhale, step your left foot between your hands. Lower that right knee, come into a runner's lunge. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, forward fold, and inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, hands to heart. Take a pause, breathing in and breathing out. Let's inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Step right foot back, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lower the knees down, the chest down, the chin, and pause. So when you have your chin on the ground, you're opening up that throat chakra and slither forward onto your belly. Inhaling into cobra or sphinx. I'll do a sphinx this time. Opening up the heart. And then lower yourself down, press the ground away, place the hands next to your chest, push the ground away, exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward between your hands, runner's lunge. And then exhale, step your left foot forward. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a pause. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, and then step back, downward facing dog, either foot, whatever foot. We tend to go with our, dominant leg, or the same thing with the dominant arm. And then knees down, chest down, chin down, slither forward, come into your cobra or sphinx, and then lower yourself down to the ground and pause. Make a pillow with your arms again, like we did earlier. And just take a moment here, breathing in, just taking this time to feel into where your body kind of needs a little bit of a loosening up. So part of the winter solstice is that we're more introspective. We take it slower. Now from here, you're going to slide your elbows. You're going to lift your forehead off the ground, slide your elbows so they're underneath your shoulders. Now keep your right arm where it is, parallel to the front of the mat, and bend your left knee. And sweep your left arm back behind you and grab hold of the foot, either inside. If you get to the top of the foot with the fingers pointing down, that's ideal, but whatever you can do without causing any kind of discomfort in your knee. Push the ground away with your right arm and bring that left heel into your bottom cheek. And twist. This is a twisting shape rather than squaring our chests forward. So twist, and your gaze can be down. You can keep your gaze towards your right hand or turn your gaze towards your left shoulder. And then lower your left leg down. Just take a pause here. Do a few little, maybe take the legs from side to side, either straight or lifting up towards the sky, and windshield wiper legs. And then place the legs back down. Left arm now parallel to the ground. Bend your right leg. Take your right hand behind you and place your hands on top of that right foot or inside. And then take an inhale and exhale, twist to the right. Opening up your right shoulder. Stretching in the opposite directions with that left leg reaching as you open up that right hip. This one I really like. It feels good on the thighs. And then come forward again. And slide your hands next to your chest, lift onto your knees, and take a moment in child's pose. Bring your knees close together or together. And let the arms slide next to your legs. I haven't done an embryo in a long time. Just realize that. And forehead resting on the ground or on a blanket or a block. If you want, you can even take your hands and rest them on your lower back. Palms up. See what feels good. Take a moment here. So the closer your legs are together, the more of a stretch you experience in your lower back. You target that area. And then slide your hands forward. Come onto all fours. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. You can take a deep breath in and you can bend the knees and either step or jump, leap to the front of the mat, coming to the front of the mat, coming into a forward bend. Bending the knees, take an inhale and exhale, slowly lift yourself up, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Once you've lifted, take a pause here, Tadasana with the arms next to your sides, palms facing the outer edges of the legs. This does feel nice. All of a sudden, at this juncture in the class, you feel like, oh, I've gotten pretty much every part of my body has been stretched, strengthened. Now let the eyes open if they're closed. We're going to do a dancer pose, but it'll be slightly different from how we usually do it. We're going to start with the left leg bent. The right leg is your standing leg. When you lift it up, instead of taking your same hand, same leg, you're going to bring your right hand and grab hold of that left foot. So you might have to grab hold of something. Maybe a wall, like I did. Once you have that foot, you should be okay. Now, some of us will stay right here. Some of us are going to bring the left arm forward. And some of us are going to take a deep breath in and lean forward. Make sure your right knee is bent. There's a slight bend to it. Lean forward, a different type of a dancer, with the left hip now being stretched. Open up your heart, open up that right shoulder. And then slowly bring yourself back. Take your left foot down. And before we do the other side, hands on your hips, knees are bent, and you're going to circle around, Sufi circles, standing Sufi circles. And then go in the opposite direction. And then coming back up nice and tall. And now we have the other leg. So the right leg is the bent leg. And take your left hand, grab hold of that right foot. Somehow this works better for me. I don't know why, the right side. And then right arm lifts. So this is where many of us stay. This is perfectly fine. Or a finger on a wall, or on a chair, table. Or reach the arms forward, kick that right foot into that left hand. Breathe in and breathe out. You can't really go as deep into this as you can when you're doing the traditional dancer. And then slowly bring that leg back in. Lower that right foot down. Take your hands again on your hips. And let's do either figure eights if you want, just working more the hips, or do whatever your body kind of needs at this moment. And then let's come back to the front of the mat if you've moved. Reach arms up, sweep arms up to the sky. Let's exhale this time, hands together, float the hands down the center of your body, forward fold. Bowing to the earth. Inhaling halfway. And then exhale, step back, downward facing dog. And then lower the knees to the ground. And let's come on to our right hip. And we're going to do some stretches. And the very last thing we're going to do, open up that right leg. Take your left foot inside your right thigh. Place your hands behind your back and just kind of loosen up and move around till your sit bones are comfortable. And then take your right arm inside your right thigh, or you can use a block. And then left arm lifts. Spin the palm to the right and then stretch over towards that right foot. Now notice how that right foot likes to sickle out to the right. Pick it up and then stretch. Or right arm presses into that right leg. Turn the pinky finger of that left hand down. So lots of yin in celebrating the solstice, the winter months. And then lift back up. Whew. And then let's just switch. Right leg inside your left thigh, left leg out to the side. Either the block inside that leg or not. Left arm inside that leg, that left leg. Reach right arm up, palms facing towards the left side, so towards your left foot, and then turn the pinky finger down, then stretch it over towards that left foot. You could see your spine from behind you. If you had a mirror, you would see the curve. An unusual curve for most of us to be in most of our life's activities. So this is really healthy. This is good for you. And then inhale, lift back up. And then place the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Now slide the feet a little further forward, so there's about 12 inches between the heels and the feet. And you have an option of taking a block. You could even place it between the feet. That's actually a good one. And place your hands, wrap it around your feet. So take your hands, so you place the highest level of the block unless you are very flexible. And see if you can get your forehead down. Some of you might not even get it there, but it's nice to push into something. And we're going to be here for about 5 breaths. And then slowly lift yourself back up. If you had the block between the feet, just move it, place it. And then from here, extend your left foot forward, place your right leg over your left leg. So I'll spin around so you can actually see me. Left arm, wrap it around your right leg or on the outside. And right hand, place it behind your sacrum on your fingertips. Take a deep breath in, lift up. If you're a beginner, you're new to this, I would suggest taking that arm, wrapping around your right knee. I'll stay there. And then lift up first. And then as you exhale, twist from the navel up to the crown of the head. Pressing into those, you can even press into the toes if you like, into that active foot, as if, I always call this, as if you're wearing stiletto heels. Pushing forward. We're here for a little bit longer than we normally would be. And then inhale back to center. And then uncross that right leg. Just shake it out. Loosen up. And then take your left leg over your right. Press, make sure that left foot is down and you're not on the outer edges of that left foot. Wrap your right arm around that left leg or the outer edge. And then left hand directly behind your spine. Some people might end up placing their hands too far away from the back, but you don't quite get the same, the stretch I'm trying to get to, the twist, I mean. Take an inhale, first lift up and then twist. Sometimes we go too quickly in the twist without preparing our spine. And then push through the right ball mound of that right foot into the ball mound. So stretch as if you're trying to press the wall in front of you just with the ball mounds and the toes. Soften the shoulders. Let the breath flow in. And so we're detoxing our organs, or we're just at least twisting them, whether it's detoxing or not. It's definitely giving our organs a nice
massage, a twist. And then come back to center. Bring both feet in front of you. Let's lower ourselves down into a forward bend. Just take your head from side to side. Little shakes of the head, no. Shakes of the head, yes. And then a few maybes. It's amazing. I teach so many classes, but yet on every class I feel something. It's just changing things up all the time, well, not all the time, parts of it. And then let's lift up, and let's lift up nice and tall, and either the feet are flat on the ground or the knees are extended. Let's slowly lower ourselves onto our backs. And once we're on our backs, stretch the arms away from the legs. Feel those hip joints. Pick one hip joint up, pedaling those feet. So your one foot is straight, one leg is straight, the other one's slightly bent, and then just do the opposite. So you feel the hip joints moving from up and down. That's a nice way of loosening up those hip joints. And then hug your knees into your chest. And then let the knees drop to the left. Open the arms wide. Now you have an option. Let's say you don't have an option unless you can't do it. Wrap that right arm around your head. And then take your so a little circle around your head. And then left hand on the right thigh, outer edge of that right leg. And then twist and look towards the right arm. This opens up your armpit. Breathe into your lymph nodes, your arm, open those up. Breathing deeply, stretching. And then pick your knees back up. Give yourself a hug, forehead to knees. Make yourself as compact as you can. And then take your legs over to the right. Left arm circles the head, right hand on the outside of that left leg, and a slight gentle push down of those legs, and turn your gaze to the left. This feels good all the way up your spine, side, waist. So why do we feel so good after yoga? It's because we have pretty much stretched every entire part of our bodies, including the organs. We've done some work with them. The bones have gotten some work with the balances and the downward facing dogs. Hug your knees into your chest, especially if you do standing poses as well. And then let's prepare our bodies for our Savasana. Take your left foot to the left corner of the mat, right to the right. Place a blanket on top of you if you're finding that, yes, I need a little extra to keep me warm. Closing the eyes. Let everything melt. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in, and then exhale. Melt, melt, melt into the ground. Lower back. Let the feet open naturally to the sides. Fingers curl. Chin is slightly tucked. And you're here for a few moments. I will let you know when we're ready to come out with the ring of the meditation bowl. So just rest. So just taking a moment here, keeping the eyes closed, to start to wake up. Let your fingers begin to move, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Just feeling the sensations of those two things moving. And then deepen the breath. Coming back to Ujjayi breath. And then closing the distance between your legs. And take a deep breath in, and as you inhale, extend the arms away from the legs. Stretch from the belly button all the way down to the legs, from the belly button to the arms. And then as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest, making yourself small, compact, and then rolling onto your right side into your fetal shape, pausing, resting, restoring. That's what winter is about, restoration, restorative poses, yin poses. And then slowly and gently finding your way up into your cross-legged seat, where we started our practice. And once you've found your way into that comfortable seat, just take a pause and check in with yourself. So winter is, yes, it represents like darkness, cold. We spend a lot more time inside if you're in a colder part of the world during the winter. I mean, in your winter you would be feeling it, but it depends on where you live. And this is when we make changes. We can start to plant those seeds of where we want to be, where we want to go, where we see ourselves in the next 6 months. So this might be the opportunity to take this time. Maybe there's a seed that's already there that needs nurturing. Maybe there's a seed that is ready to be nurtured. So as we close this 12 days of Christmas, this is the finale of the 12 days of Christmas, with the weaving in of our solstice, the winter solstice. As I bring my hands in front of my heart, let's bring our hands in front of our hearts to seal this practice in preparation for Christmas, for the holiday season, for the winter months ahead. Thank you so much for being with me. Namaste, everyone. This is Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com, and I hope to see you soon.